G'day, welcome back to another episode of AFL Unpopular Opinions. I'm Ryan Cook. Joining me on the panel, like they do every week, it's Tom Rockcliffe, Alistair Lynch, Jack Lindley. Fellas, penultimate weekend of footy done and dusted. We're on to the final round. Bit to talk about off the field before we get to the on-field stuff, but how are we all feeling heading into the final round?
Good. Bit jaded.
Yeah?
Yes.
Jaded, why?
Well, I was flying around the country last week a bit and cancelled flights and stopovers in Sydney and...
Oh, who's cancelled on you?
Qantas.
Qantas, mate.
Well, it was because there was a mechanical issue, so it's probably not bad they cancelled it. Don't work out halfway down, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't have pushed the
We'll have that plane like Rocky was telling me landed on the golf course in Manly.
The plane in New South Wales that went down on the golf course, it might have been Monday or Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On the golf course?
Literally come down. If you got skittled, it was your time to go.
Imagine you just got your white hot round going. You think I'm going.
Bloke's running 10 minutes late for his tee off. It's flying in hot.
Coming in hot. Yeah. I'm up and about. Because if you go back to the summer...
Oh, here we go.
It took less than 2 minutes.
I didn't even get to introduce it.
Unprompt.
Coffee break. Well, there you go.
I mean, we had to record on a Tuesday this week because I had some shopping to do, thanks to Neds. I had to go out yesterday and purchase.
Look at this.
Oh, nice.
For the punters out there, you obviously can't punt Lynchy, and I'm not sure whether you've seen it or not, but I gave him the bet of the year.
You did? I was on that day you were talking about it.
It was the bet of the year that only offered by Neds as well. I couldn't find it across any other agencies, and Neds was...
Because you were looking to diversify, were you?
Well, I was just having a look just to see how much we could get, where we could get it, and
Who let you down, you thought, early in the year? Was it?
Well, I had Clayton Oliver. I thought... the bet was any player...
Bailey Dale.
Dale, that's the one.
49.
Yeah, he's great.
49, you thought I
got a handball. Yeah. So the thing with it is, for me, so I also tipped Jesse Cameron at 11 to win the Coleman.
Look at him.
We'll just...
I don't know if I got the receipt for that one.
You'll have to check that.
Got a receipt for Sydney making the top.
Yeah, we've got that one.
We've got Sydney receipt. But I tell you what, if Ashcroft wins the Rising Star, Dacos Brownlow and Brisbane the flag,
you be smoking Cuban?
Give it away. But so like the Coleman or a futures market when you're relying on one player, but for the 50 touches, you've got everyone in the field and you've got all the rounds into the finals. It had to be bet of the year, which I told everyone at 9 to 1.
And you've got
$9.
3 or 4 heavily developing teams that they're going to allow that sort of game to happen. So
correct. Richmond, West Coast, and we're seeing Dale do it, go to 49. It was on, and
just had to sweat it out for 23 rounds.
Second last round.
23. Well, I had until the grand final anyway, so I wasn't nervous. Don't worry, I wasn't twitching.
Imagine a GF 50.
Well, yeah. If you get to the finals, it's unlikely.
Probably at quarter time they'll lock you down if you're on track for a 50.
No one's going to let you run around and have 50, I wouldn't have thought, in the finals. But
so what was the collect? Walk us through your collect.
The collect was big.
It was,
big. No,
divulge a bit more.
Watch look at that.
Nice little watch tucked away here.
Okay.
But,
expensive box.
For anyone that followed, do we know how many followed? We probably didn't get the data, but hopefully, I gave them the tip 24 weeks ago. They could have cleaned up.
Yep.
And then you could have multied it with Jezza. There's 100 to 1.
I reckon a few Tigers players may have been on that one, or maybe their coach.
Maybe.
Richmond players.
What are you suggesting, Jack?
No one went near him. And between him and Davies Uniacke, they've knocked me and Pierce Handley off. We had 92 between us one day against the Gold Coast Suns. They've had 94 possessions between two players.
Well, that Rolex is a nice consolation.
So you and Pierce had 1,100 metres gained, didn't you?
Well, he had 1,000, I had 100. he had over a K metres gained. So quite incredible, but for the punters out there, if you got on, I gave you the bet of the year. I gave it to you before the season started.
Yeah.
And haven't you let social media know? Well, there's been about 5 clips do the rounds.
I'm waiting for the Neds to clip it up and send it out.
I've got to have a word to producer Rich over here. He's going to work his magic.
There's a few that are calling in about the Swans flag bet that followed you into that one.
Well, if they had followed my tips all year, it wouldn't have mattered, would it? The Swans was just a little saver and a bit of fun halfway through the year to keep us going.
You're in the green. That's all that matters.
We knew that Jezza was going to win and pretty much predicted that exactly how it happened. No
Yep.
Hawkins there. He's going to do it in 3 games. He's going to kick a bag of 10 or 11. And sure enough.
Can he get to the 100 though?
What's he, 21
Nah, he's
away
not
or
getting
something?
to 100.
Yeah.
He went goalless, didn't he?
Yeah, goalless.
They're not even looking for
His
him.
last 2 weeks, I think he should have kicked more against
Yeah.
Essendon. He only got
Kicked 4
4
goals, 5. Yeah.
and then none on the weekend. He probably kicks 12 this weekend though.
Yeah.
Richmond, they got Richmond?
He might get 50
Yeah, I
touches.
think it is Richmond. I mean, 50 touches he could do.
And he
13
might
shots.
also get 50.
Yeah, right, yeah. No, nice job. You've done very well. Going into the last round, tell us, pump up our perception from the outside of Travis Boak. How good is he, and how big will this week be to recognise one of the all-time greats of Port Adelaide?
Yeah, I think it's massive. I'm actually a bit nervous for the Suns, which they may have to
Yeah.
come up on Wednesday and beat
Could
your
they-
mob. They
Could you
miss.
get him up? Could you get him
I
up?
think so. I know they were disappointing on the weekend, but I mean, Travis Boak and what he means to that footy club. His first year came in, went to a grand final, they got wiped, lived and breathed the worst time of that footy club in the history. Obviously, we know what happened on an overseas trip as well. Ken Hinckley comes in, he decides to stay captain of the footy club. He's the most professional player I've ever played with. The amount of time and work that he puts into his body to make sure he's right, that's why he got to nearly 400 games. And he hasn't been horrible this year either. Like,
No,
he
that
doesn't
game
look
at the
finished.
Gabba, we saw him firsthand. He worked as hard as anyone on the ground. He was very good.
Yeah. So, I mean, for what he went through back to a 15-year-old, to lose your old man. So he's got 2 sisters, mum, down in Geelong, Torquay Way. Lose your old man, who's his absolute hero, did everything with, took him to footy, legend in those areas. And then to be able to go and do what he's done. Like, you can go, as a 15-year-old, one of the hardest things I'd imagine you go through, you could go one of 2 ways. And he chose a path of success and footy, and he's come out and he is one of the most genuine, nice people you'll ever meet. His charity work that he does away, it goes unmatched, I think, in the competition. He's always supporting particularly kids' charities. Professional, goes away for his off-season, does all the right things, comes back, runs incredible times in time trials year in, year out, and he's so resilient to get through. It's an incredible achievement and a great career. Unfortunately, I think I said it, sometimes you don't get what you deserve in this game, and I think he deserves a premiership.
100%. Yeah.
Obviously, you don't. Not everyone gets that, and he's only played in that one grand final, went close in a couple of prelims, and he leaves the game without the premiership. But, I mean, what he's done, and for his family still, his mum, I think he told her he was going to retire 3 years ago. So she
Goes to every game, doesn't she?
she resigned and went to every game for the last 3 years.
How good.
She pretty much went to every game. So
what's he do now? So where can you see him next year pop up?
he loves Queensland, so he'll be in southeast Queensland.
Oh, you reckon?
I imagine he'll live Palm Beachy way. He's really
Seriously?
tight.
Well,
with
if the Gold
Mick
Coast
Kane.
Suns don't find a role for him,
Well, I think he should go down the path, and I said this to him, it's probably speaking out of school a bit, but I think he should go into a leadership type role with a number of organisations, i.e. the Gold Coast Suns, Gold Coast Titans, just like work with their leaders, give him the flexibility to do what he wants. Because I think you need to take a bit of time post-footy to just chill out. So I think it'd be a good little feeler for him to see what he likes. I would actually, if I was him, because he does it so well, and AFL players have money to burn, run off-season camps. So take them away, because he goes to LA, run the camp, show them the good spots over there, but set it up as a business so that you're training hard, you're working hard, but you can show them a good time over there. Take 10 blokes, charge them. They'll pay it. Like, they'll get the most out of themselves, and away they go. So, an incredible career and well deserved. And Friday night, I'm heading down, so it'll be good. A fair few of us are going over. So
you're holding the banner up, are you?
I'll be holding the banner, guard of honour. Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
No, that'll be a
but I'll
special
over
night.
there.
That will be a special night. Yeah, special career. Look forward to seeing what he does afterwards.
Has he given you any words of advice before you run out in the Legends game? Because it's officially been announced.
Yeah.
I feel like we can talk about it now.
Yes. No.
Is
he
50
hasn't.
a chance? Are you going to be one of those guys that takes it a little bit too serious in the Legends match and try to
Probably
rack up
should,
50?
shouldn't I?
Get 50.
No, probably not. I don't know. I think Croft's coaching. Obviously, we rock up the day and just sort of roll out there. So
pre-game.
Playing in that, obviously, Bloke's Health as well. That raises money for prostate cancer.
Yep.
So really important cause, but good to be involved. To see they announced me and Chrissy Johnson. So I wouldn't mind lining up on Chrissy actually taking the goal square.
When was the last
really.
time you had a serious kick of the footy?
Well, serious would be the last time I played, but I played in Broken Hill in 2022.
Did you? What'd you do? Just a
little cameo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, into a sporty. So they do a good past players function there. The Bulldogs, I think it is up there. Tex Walker's old club. Played 3 quarters. I think I kicked 3 goals, 8 or something, a couple of the full. So they were a bit disappointed with the output. But good fun.
Very good. Well, we look forward to watching that. We're talking about money a lot this morning. We got to talk about Naz's big contract, the big talking point overnight. $2 million, AFL's first $2 million player, 2-year deal. I guess the biggest talking point about this though is the clubs that he's turned down, Port Adelaide and Adelaide. Rocky, you're surprised that he didn't look for that money from the Power?
Oh, I couldn't leave it on the table.
So the reported numbers?
Reported numbers from Port Adelaide was 12 years, 2.5, so 30 mil.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
So I think it worked out to be 13 or 14% of their cap, which is crazy in itself. But I mean, he's going to earn effectively that over a 2-year period. You don't know what tomorrow brings. And I'm not saying that anything happens to him, but to lock in $30 million,
huge.
You can set yourself up for life. And he's going to anyway. And I'm sure the way he's going to probably exceed that and get more. But
as you said, there's injuries, there's stuff that happens.
Anything can happen. Yeah. And $30 million is a lot. Yep. I mean, he's getting $4 million for 2 years, and he potentially gets that contract or something like that. Maybe he gets a 10-year next term for similar money. But the way I say it, potentially the TV rights, we don't know where it's going to go. Does it continue to increase? Not sure. There's a bit of conversation that maybe it's been overs, and Lynch probably has better insight in this, but they're not super happy with how it's going. $30 million to turn down takes a brave man and a better man than me, because I would have to take it. And he deserves it. He deserves to be a $2 million player. There's only a couple in the comp.
He deserves it this year. Like the elevation of his standard of play has been extraordinary.
Yeah.
Like he's gone from, wasn't they talking about 800,000, which is not a bad wedge realistically, and turned 800 into $2 million over the course of 20 games.
Well, yeah, I think Joey Montagna was the one that said it. He's gone from 5th in the best and fairest at St Kilda to the 5th best player in the competition in the space of 12 months. Not even 12 months.
It's a fair turnaround, isn't it?
It's a great purple patch, and it's earned him over $1 million extra in contract. But
and played it well too. Like
that
didn't say anything.
What that Melbourne game did for him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's been better than just that period, obviously, but that's a match-winning performance.
He timed that very well, didn't he?
Everything about it.
You signed $10 million for 10 years back in the day. So
$10 million?
Would you?
$2 million. So what I got for 10 years, he's getting in for 1 year. That's, sign of the times. And
what would you do if you got that?
Oh, it's a tough one. So, yeah, for me, it was, there was the security. Paul Roos and myself had been to the AFL that year about Fitzroy staying alive as well. And if our contracts fell over, would they underwrite it? And they all said, nah, you're on your own. So there was no guarantee we'd get paid at Fitzroy, which was sort of added into that mix. And I think, the major part, because with your playing contracts, you can make a bad investment and that's gone. So it's about positioning yourself to be successful. And that was part of the decision. A major part of the decision for me was to go to a club that hopefully I could experience some success, which worked out, and Brisbane had changed their philosophies. Yeah. So, Nazi's obviously assessed that, St Kilda are going in the right direction. But I think we said here a month ago, if he walked out the door, you'd near pull the roller door down at St Kilda. Wouldn't it suck the guts out of you for 5 years? So this is such an important... They just had to pay. They almost had to put the contract in front of him and say, well, you fill it out. but we need you to stay.
Because
Blank check.
Yeah, well, you just fill it out. Go 2 years.
Yeah.
So I reckon I think Ross Lyon sort of said last night, and that's important for both parties. They get to see him over the next couple of years, and importantly, he gets to see the club and sees where they're going. Same with the Matty Rao conversation. In 2 years' time, Matty will know where he's at, and importantly where the club's at to get that success, because that's what it's all about.
Because there was a bit of commentary around, you got to pay overs if you're an external club. But for him, it's different. Like, you have to pay him overs to keep him at St Kilda.
Yeah.
Like, they had to, and I don't think it's even overs the way he's playing. I think he's a superstar that we're going to see him at halfback. He's gone in the middle and he's elevated his game again. It's actually scary what he can potentially do.
He looks good.
What were you blokes do? Because you were pretty strong on the loyalty factor.
I was going to ask you guys, how do you feel about the loyalty angle? Because you don't see this very often in sports anymore, especially with these struggling clubs. So, I really like that aspect of it. But
I think it's easy to stay loyal when you're getting $2 million a year,
fair
to
point.
be honest. But yeah, leaving $30 million on the table, I'd really struggle to do that. But in saying that, I know. So you got the 10-year contract.
Yeah.
How did that affect you mentally? Like, did you relax a bit once you knew, I've got this 10 years now? Or
No, I reckon it goes the other way.
It goes the other way because you got to prove yourself.
Yeah.
more pressure.
Yeah, you walk into a new group and you got a big chunk of the group looking at you going, well, hang on, how come we're paying this bloke all this money? And so, you probably go the other way. It certainly wasn't comfortable, it was the other way. I've got to prove that I'm worth it. And there's the focus on you. So when you break, whether it be physically or you sort of get burnt out or whatever has happened with me, the scrutiny is right on you. And the scrutiny, with that $2 million contract, the scrutiny will be on him.
Yeah.
So it's elevated.
I think the last one that potentially is Dusty. He stayed loyal, played it till the last minute, got the most out of Richmond at the time, which he deservedly should have, but stayed loyal. So hopefully for Nas and for St Kilda, they can win a couple of flags.
Well, imagine St Kilda, when we spoke, imagine getting Essendon up out of the doldrums, but St Kilda, how long it's been for them, and historically with the one premiership, getting them up would be incredible, and to be a part of that.
Does this hamper them now? Like,
no, you got to break the cycle.
Bringing well-established players in and offering that, like the Koning's coming and they're looking at 1.7, 1.8.
Yeah, so that's a big chunk of their cap gone. But I reckon, like we saw the Gold Coast about 5 years ago, and Brisbane did it to a degree as well. You've got to break the cycle somehow. So that's with who you bring in, but also sometimes you pay overs to keep those people to break that cycle of just continually losing talent. You're losing talent all the time, and I think GWS have done that as well. But you got to break the cycle. Then ideally, you get to a Geelong situation where players come in,
they want to be
unders because they want to be part of a successful organisation.
I wouldn't pay De Koning that. With Rowan Marshall there. Like, for me, I would target someone else if I was St Kilda. So
I'd go $1.3 million midfielder.
I would go Zach Butters. Like, compliment, potentially everyone's
Just
talking
rub
about.
it in.
No, well, Port Adelaide, you're talking about getting him there, and if they had got him, well, rip someone like that, like a really good midfielder that can complement, or a key forward. We know that King's going to be back. He's had his injury issues, but Rowan Marshall's as good in the ruck as anyone in the competition.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Like, De Koning's not going to come in and elevate him in a massive way, I don't think. Yes, of course, he's a quality player, and if you can keep them both and play them both, but I don't think you can play them both in the same team.
They're both ruckmen.
Both ruckmen, which we've
they
seen.
They can go forward, but it's vastly different being a forward going into the ruck. Like, if Marshall or De Koning got to play key forward, that's a vastly different role. So, okay, 5 minutes a quarter, go forward and pinch hit and take a mark. You can do that. That's easy.
Well, you've seen it.
Relatively easy.
Well,
not easy, but you know what I mean.
You made a career out of it. No, but you've seen it with Gawn and Grundy. Like, Grundy, when he's the number one ruckman at Sydney, is a different player to the number two ruckman at Melbourne. So it'd be crazy, in my opinion, if they went and paid De Koning that. I'd go and get a different player. And I don't think I'd get a Lear either, a Lee Kalir, after watching him on the weekend. Like, I wouldn't pay him overs to rip him out of there. I think Gold Coast showed him up on the weekend. They played through him almost and kept him in the game in that first half. So,
what about your comment post game to interview? And speaking of cash, just throwing $2 million around on behalf of the Tassie Devils. You've essentially, in the post-game, you've offered Sam Taylor $2 million bucks.
He's too nice, and he didn't understand what I was saying. So we had him on Triple M after the game, Sam Taylor, and I said, Sam, I don't know if Lynchy's down there. I know he's here today. Are you just going to wander over to Lynchy, tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, if you want a $2 million man down at Tassie, it's me.
Yeah.
And he batted it away. But he's a star.
Yeah.
Well, if he'd sign for $2 million, it's not my job because we've got recruiters
Here we go.
and
Here's the
list
exclusive. Clip this up. Sam Taylor.
It's not my job because we've got recruiters and list managers. I would suggest though, if he was prepared to move for $2 million, I reckon those people, my staff at the Devils, would be very interested.
We'll
$2 million goes a long way in Tassie as well.
Yeah.
What's the
stadium
conversion rate down there?
So did you hear that? Sam Taylor, $2 million a year at Tassie. He's got the checkbook out and he's got the pen ready for you to sign.
Yeah, gee, he'd be a good signing though, wouldn't he? He's what? He's in the best two defenders in the comp.
Him and Harris Andrews.
Yeah.
I think he probably is. Yeah,
You've been keen on him since the start of the year.
Well, I've been keen on him. Lynchy's loved him forever, and then I started to watch him a bit closer. What he does, he intercepts. He's hard. He's tough. He's uncompromising. When he got beaten on the lead, it wasn't even him. I think he handed over to Himmelberg.
And giving him a cook, didn't he?
Himmelberg got both barrels. But that's what you want. And he could easily be Tasmania's first captain. And I don't think anyone would bat an eyelid. I don't like paying defenders over at the best of times. Sam Taylor, Harris Andrews, different kettle of fish. I'm paying them overs.
Just get it done, Lynchy.
Oh,
Come on, Matt.
He's already got his sign.
See if I know someone down there that can pull some strings.
I will say just lastly on Naz as well, I think the way that he's handled it the entire season has been exceptional.
Stunning.
Like you look at De Koning, his play's kind of dropped off a little bit in the last couple of months because of the distraction with the contract, but we haven't seen that from Naz. So I just think that's...
Does he set a new precedent here in terms of players negotiating? Like hold off. As long as you're performing on the field.
Yeah.
And get a little bidding war going. Yeah.
I think you got to, don't you? Like, just let them bid. And if your form starts to dip, then you're in a bit of strife.
Then sign.
But
quick.
Like,
if you feel a bit of a niggle, it's good.
I was talking to Lee Hardy about this yesterday. Imagine your manager calling you and going, I've got this deal for $30 million. I'd drive straight to their office and sign.
the second thought.
Are we playing on Mars? I don't care. I'll go anywhere. But he played it perfectly.
Next on the Port Adelaide podcast, Ollie Wines. We got to jump into this. 3 weeks is incredible to me for what was in the back, in my opinion.
Well, it's definitely not 3 weeks. It's not even a suspension. It wasn't even a free kick on the field. No player remonstrated. It was nothing. Lord, I think it was, went on to play for another hour and then get subbed out. So you're saying the AFL definitively that was the hit that did it. Now, if I was Port Adelaide, I'd go in there and just show incidents where he's in contest and say it could be that one, could be that one. Like, you can't definitively say that he got concussion there. Probably is, but how can you prove that? Like, there's an hour of time post that before he gets subbed out. And it's not even a bad act. It was in the act of kicking. He bumped him. He didn't hit him in the head. His head didn't hit the ground. Like, I can't understand why that's not a suspension. Why that's a suspension, sorry.
And then staggering. Well, because, the vision that I saw...
Well, I thought they posted the wrong thing originally.
It didn't hit him in the head, did it?
No. So the AFL put it up and said this is 3 weeks. And I legitimately watched it 7 times and couldn't work out... Is there a different angle that hasn't happened?
He can't possibly get suspended for that.
So it's Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock.
Can't possibly happen.
They are appealing it. But on that, so you're going to suspend that for 3 weeks in the MRO or whatever it is, which they need to just rip up, start again anyway. You go back to Friday night and Berry's there and Brayshaw does... effectively the same action as what Ollie Wines does, but off the ball. So the ball's not in play at that point in time. Berry pops his shoulder, potentially misses all of finals campaign now. And we're okay with that. Like, that's a 0, but we want to suspend Ollie for 3 weeks. Is it all just down to concussion? Like,
I think, I think you're bang on.
If there's an injury from the head, then that's 3 weeks. If it's a shoulder that pops out and you've got to go and have surgery, that's nothing. Like the same, it's almost the same actions. One was off the ball and gets 0. One was on the ball and gets 3 weeks.
You know what the difference is, though? Is the AFL's getting sued for head injuries.
Well, what's the difference? The player starts suing them for injuries as well.
Well, the head injuries.
No, but do they start?
Is that that's the difference.
I know. I understand.
There's not
what
a class action against shoulder dislocations.
Yeah.
So that's where the AFL are running scared at the moment, and I think they'd be happy that they can at least hang their hat on. We've sent this to the tribunal. We've put it up as a 3-weeker, and if it gets overturned as 0, they say, "Well, we've done all we can."
Yeah.
So I reckon that helps mitigate the risk.
It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
It won't get over. It won't stand.
On that,
so you don't think he'll get at least a week because there is a concussion?
No, I think it's 3 or... Well, in the system at the moment, it's 3 or none. I don't think they're going to give him a week. I don't think... Have we ever seen that where it goes up as 3 and then it comes out as 1?
So it can't come back?
I think it's 3 or none is my understanding. But again, the
That's
AFL...
where the rules have to get changed as well. That's another part.
Couldn't
possibly.
Yeah.
Couldn't possibly. You're right that for the Port Adelaide to present all the head knocks or potential concussion incidents throughout the game, they'd have to go through that and compare it to Ollie Wines and say, well, how can you isolate that this was the one?
Yeah, it's staggering. And on the concussion and lawsuits, you sign up and you know that there's an element of risk there. And I think now managing it in 2025, we're much better than what we were back in the day. Back in the day, even when I first started and for early parts of my career, you'd say you were fine and want to get out there and play, and it was seen as a tough thing to play on, get through. Now I think we manage it a lot better, but I mean, it's the same as anything. Like, there's an element of risk to playing AFL footy. There is going to be head knocks. There is going to be accidental collisions out there. I think we have to accept that. And for this one, Ollie Wines, and I get it, Lynchy, they put it up so they go, well, we did the right thing, so don't come back and sue us if you have problems down the track. But there is no way we can accept that being 3 weeks. If Port Adelaide were in the finals, he was potentially missing the 2 first finals.
Yeah.
For that,
yeah, it won't happen.
Fair income.
It couldn't possibly happen. But I think, and your argument's right, so the 80s, even conversely, the flip side was you were soft if you didn't go back on the field after a head knock. But I think the AFL and the AFL Players Association are getting much better at looking after their players post-injury. Yeah. So whether it's head injury, mental health or physical injury, they're getting much better at that. Even to the degree, did you go to, well, actually you don't have to tell me, but the medical tests, so the AFL Players Association doing medicals on all their past players that voluntary want to go in. And that sort of stuff, that's it's good. Brilliant. So better support post-career. I think that's what,
How are your results in that one?
I haven't got the results back. Okay. I've forgotten. Mention's kicking in.
Rocky's reminded about his every week in the Neds comments.
Well, I have high cholesterol.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So that was...
that's about whether your
I'd say the AFL for that one.
So I've got it. But the STI was clean. I'm joking.
The important one.
That's just a cheap gag.
Lynch is not impressive.
They're still testing your piss after you're retired.
Oh, do you straighten up?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, back to the footy.
Talking about players that could miss finals. And we're not really the platform for this, and we've got to get serious here.
Oh, yeah. Segue into this
not
segment.
great. Izak Rankine. We got to talk about this a little bit because this is the second time this year and the second time in, 4 weeks that we've had a homophobic slur on the field. What do you guys make of this? What do you make of the suspension? What do you make of this happening so frequently?
Yeah, I mean, there's no place in society for it anymore. It's not accepted. I think we can all acknowledge that now. The 90s, what you could say, is very different to what you can say in 2025. We spoke about it a few weeks ago, that there needs to be a consistent across the board. It needs to be automatic for 6 weeks, whatever it is. I don't think you can have an investigation. Like, if this comes out and it's 2 weeks, there's going to be an uproar. The AFL probably don't care because it'll get forgotten about in a few weeks and away you go. but you've got to be consistent across the board. And we spoke about, so previously, I think last year it was Finlayson and he got 3, and then within a month, I think it was Will Powell, and they gave him extra because it was so close after. So we've seen one this year where it was Graham got 4 weeks for saying the same thing. He self-reported straight after the game. Within a month, we've seen it again. Like it has to be 6+.
6+, you reckon?
Well, it has to be, doesn't it? Like,
got to set the precedent.
They have to now. So
it has to be 5 at the minimum.
Well, yeah. I'm just going off the 3 last year. The 2 for
it's increasing
by 2 because it was so close after. We got a 4-week this year. Within a month, he self-reported, went and did it. Rankin didn't. Admitted from, and where only what's been reported, the investigation said yes, he said it. He acknowledged it, didn't self-report. It was Collingwood that brought it up to their officials, went back to Adelaide, then they reported it to the AFL. So it has to be, I think, a 6-week. Unfortunately, the time of the year for him is that he's going to miss a finals campaign. But, I mean, the ramifications from it, there's a vilification. Everyone's taught about it, the education around it. I'm old school in the fact that words are words. I can put up with it. If someone said stuff to me, I'd be okay. But I think not everyone's okay with that, and as society, we don't accept that, and that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So I think I think he's in a bit of strife, and he's said the wrong thing. You have to live with the consequences of it now, and it's going to be, I think, a long-term suspension.
Yeah, which is not good. It's got to be stamped out of the game. So and what? How do you stamp it out of the game? What's the right penalty? I'm not sure. Obviously, they're going down the pathway of the weeks.
Well, this is why.
To make a statement.
This is why. So they've got a matrix for the on-field stuff.
Yeah.
Why is there not a matrix for the off-field stuff, in the fact that you can't have Willie Rioli getting 1 week for what he did and 4 weeks for Graham? Like, it needs to be consistent across the board. If you vilify another player or attack them, it's X amount of weeks. This is the categories. This is what you did. Did you report? No, I didn't. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
You get elevated if you don't. If you say the wrong thing, and I mean, we've all been guilty of saying the wrong thing in our life. No one can sit there and say they've been perfect throughout their whole life. Unfortunately, you've got to own it, and he's going to have to own it, and he's going to cop the
the fact that so many people before him have done it, and it should have been educated by the clubs, and it's not like a head clash where there's so many variables involved and you accidentally you've got complete control of what leaves your mouth during a game. I mean, in the heat of the contest, things are said, but you've just got to get those words out of your vocabulary.
And the main reason why players get these penalties is to get it out of the game is one thing, but to get it out of society. That respect for others in society is the major issue, and
junior levels.
Yeah, and sport is a vehicle for setting those standards.
And maybe this is what it takes: someone missing a finals campaign to really get that message across.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big out, isn't it? I mean, just looking at the player. If Izak Rankine is missing the finals. That's a huge hole.
Massive for them. Like, he's a match winner for the Crows, but unfortunately, you can't view it that way, and the AFL can't view it that way.
Oh, no, not at all.
But for Adelaide,
just from a footy point of view, my goodness,
sitting pretty on top. And
I also wonder a little bit if what happened with Tex a few years ago with what he said sort of makes the penalty bigger in this situation.
Amplifies
the club.
Yeah, for the club. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk about the Crows from a footy perspective. Do you guys think they're maybe a little bit vulnerable because a slow start against Collingwood on Saturday night, they got the rub of the green with the officiating? I thought there were.
I want to get to the umpires. We'll go to the Crows first, but
take it away.
Well, the Crows, you win 1 of 100 of them games. You eventually you can't have a inside 50 count 70-30 like that you lose 99
71 to 37. That's just ridiculous.
99 out of 100, and they did. I think the officiating wasn't great in it. They got a rub of the green with that, but they're certainly vulnerable. Their defence is stacked up really well, so they were vulnerable in that area. Going into the season, we thought, yes, they've got their key posts in the front half. Their midfield starting to come on. Looks really balanced. Their defence is an issue. Their defence has stood up really well. So you have to give them a massive tick for that. But the way they played the other day, if they play like that in the first week of finals, second week of finals, they could be out in straight sets. But I think they're still vulnerable. Yes, they sit on top of the ladder. They've probably had a bit of a cushy draw compared to the other teams up there, but they've earned the right to be number one seed, get the first home final at Adelaide Oval, goes a long way to it. But if they play the way they did the other night, then they're not going to survive too long in finals, in my opinion.
No, not at all. And have you seen a stat like, and this reinforces the game was played in the forward half for Collingwood. Collingwood have had 32 forward 50 tackles.
Off the charts.
Ever heard of that before? I don't reckon anyone's had 32 forward 50s.
I think Gold Coast only had 32 for the game.
Oh, yeah.
And do Collingwood take a bit out of that, knowing that they got within 3 points of the league leaders, or is it kind of more deflating that you've played that well, you've got all those entries and you weren't able to win the game?
I reckon there's a lot of green on the coach's chart, and number of their KPIs would be ticked. It's just that whether it's the connection piece or the ability to convert their opportunities. But yeah, the reason sort of they've struggled to score is just the congestion in their forward 50s. So you basically got two teams there, so it's hard to scrap a goal. But you'd take that. If we're going to go into the game again, we're going to have these sort of numbers, I'd be taking that every day of the week.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of positives out of it, but there'd be concerns as well. Like there's something wrong functionally with their offensive ball movement. If you're having 71 entries and only getting a return, I know the conditions were that, but to only have 56 points, that's disappointing. They've had their forward halves normally function pretty well with Elliott and Myercheck and those guys down there.
But they weren't getting the opportunity really to jump at the ball because it was just there. It was just bouncing in and out. So it was staying there. Yep. So they'd take some positives out. What about the flip side? Look at the other one of the other finals contenders, and we've spoken about this a couple of weeks ago. The Fremantle Dockers.
Oh. Big game coming up this weekend.
Fremantle Dockers. We spoke last year. They were third with 4 weeks to go and missed. They were third this year with 4 weeks to go. Now they sit seventh, and their elimination final is on the weekend. Western Bulldogs.
And what did they win before they lost on the weekend? At like 8
or 11 or something. Yeah.
So, I mean, that they miss, and the naysay, will it come true? Will he get the arse?
You've been on this, I say it nearly every week. For 2 years you've been saying Longmuir gone. So
it's a tough one because they're going to potentially just miss. They nearly need to play finals, don't they, for him to survive. I
thought going into this year was like they need to play finals. Some observers were saying, they'll be top four.
Yeah.
Which
Not
I think
us.
we both sort of...
Not us. You don't get a Rolex watch with those kinds of predictions.
Longines. But yeah, and you don't want the pressure to come on one particular person, but the reality is the pressure does come on the coach if you can't convert those opportunities. So, it'll be a massive game. Western Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium, full house.
Yep.
Well, the Dockers are just under as much pressure as the Dockers,
Dogs
really.
don't make it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a team with 140% miss finals?
No.
Potentially could happen.
Historic.
Yeah.
Second best percentage in the league.
They've scored the most points as well.
They've got weapons everywhere. Again, their front half, they've got issues defensively, the Dogs. So it should be a good game, but Brisbane give them a bit of a lesson over there. So I think that also, out of the top eight, it reinforces that Brisbane, when they get up for those big games, they're the best in the competition.
How long can they hang on with these injuries? So Jared Berry out. Eric Hipwood is not Royce Hart, but... he still plays a role up forward and can, as we've seen at different stages, he can light it up for a quarter and just kick goals. So they're starting to lose some players, which is a concern.
Neil's still missing for this one as well.
Isn't there optimism with Barry and Neil though? That's what I've read.
So Neil's a chance to play this week. Barry's obviously a dislocation, so it's one of those ones that you can jab it, strap it up. So he'd probably miss a week, give him another week, go into the first final. He'll have surgery at the end of the year. He can get away with it, just depending. And he's tough. Jared Berry's tough, so I think he'll be okay to play with it. But I think Lynch is right. With the back line decimated, they're only 1 or 2 away. If they lose Starcevic, they lose Lester, Andrews, Zorko. One of those guys in the back half again, I think they're in strife. Their midfield... Dunkley, they're stacked through the midfield and their front half. Charlie Cameron was better on the weekend, which I've been screaming out for 18 months. Rayner can have an impact. Zach Bailey was back to
Bailey was excellent.
So they cover so many areas, and it's like they've been waiting for these games. Like they did it against Hawthorn earlier in the year at the MCG. The big ones they've been getting up for. Collingwood at the MCG. Freo's on the line. So I think they're still sweet.
Do you think they're lucky in a way that the Hawks kind of don't need to win this game as much as they did maybe 2 weeks ago, where it looked like it was going to boil down to this?
It would have been exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Sunday night at midnight kickoff, I think. So
midnight.
Looking forward to that one.
Real fan-friendly fixture, that one.
While we are speaking of Brisbane, we can't skip over Dayne Zorko's 300.
Beat me to it.
Yes.
Sorry, mate.
No, you're
I don't get emailed the run sheet.
Run sheet. It was on the launch pad.
Merging into your MC role, your hosting role.
Dayne Zorko, 300 games is incredible for his journey. You look back, so he was late to get drafted. He was slugging away down there at Broadbeach. I think he won 3 or 4 best and
Four
fairest.
BNFs at Broadbeach.
At Broadbeach, 22?
Yeah, I reckon 22.
22. Gold Coast Suns could have taken him, said no thanks, traded him. Up to Brisbane, gets to Brisbane, has OP in his first year, really major groin issues where he was over in Perth and spending a fair bit of time away. So it was sort of like, is he going to make it? Gone on to play 300, stuck through the club through some of the worst days you'll ever see at AFL footy clubs. Did it really tough. Skipper, and then brings a tear to your eye legitimately last year when he's standing up there holding the Premiership Cup to know what he's gone through. And then to get to 300 games shows how resilient he is and an absolute star of the competition. He's won 4 best and fairest. Pretty stiff not to be the best and fairest winner last year in a Premiership year. So it's an incredible career, and I know that he rubs people up the wrong way, but he's a teammate that you would want alongside you. You knew what you're going to get from him every week. Perform, brings energy. Yes, he pushes the boundary and makes mistakes sometimes out there. You take that. He's good, outweighs that, and he's one of my favourite teammates that I played with.
Yeah, that's good rap. So what about AFL Hall of Fame?
Has to walk up, isn't it?
You would think so. Club captain, best and fairest 4 times,
Well, he's-
Premiership player.
He'll hold the Lions record by the end. I'd imagine he'll go next year.
Well, he's got to go next year.
So
Whereas-
Blackie,
was it
320.
last year? Last year he was on the fringe.
Well, I think
The
if Kitty
halfback-
Coleman doesn't go down, he probably retires last year as a half forward.
Yeah.
He goes to half back and changes
All
the way
Australian.
they play.
Yeah.
All Australian and
No,
staggering.
exceptional job. Great career so far, and plenty to go.
He's very well spoken, I think, Zorks as well. I don't know what sort of media training he's had, but every
he's
time I
well
hear
rehearsed.
him, but that's probably the better way
He
to put
doesn't
it.
shut up on the field. Give you plenty of feedback, which is quite entertaining. If you're against him, you probably don't love him, but as you're saying, as a teammate, as you know, but as a fan, you're looking at him, you love what he does.
Love him. Love him. Yeah.
Before we get out of here, let's just pretend we got a week of footy left to play, but let's just pretend the ladder finishes as it is right now with the teams in the top 8.
Well, we can't do that. The Suns are out then.
Righto.
Well,
Big.
that's
is that your
that's my
point?
question. Like, are the Suns going to miss out? And which teams do you think are peaking, and which teams are pretending as we head towards the finals?
Well, the Sun, as we said, if Port Adelaide get up, which they potentially do for Travis Boak's last game, then they've got to beat Essendon, which they should do, but could it be?
It's not a gimme,
Could
boys.
it be like just typical of the Gold Coast Suns?
Really? You should see our record on Wednesday night. Haven't been beaten.
Under a full moon.
The teams in form, so you got to say Crows, Cats, Lions, Giants.
Yeah.
I think are the 4, potentially the Dogs. Freo are okay, but I think against the big boys, they're going to struggle. I think they've got a really good record against top 8 teams, funnily enough, but I think they got found out by the Lions on the weekend. Collingwood, we know, grossly out of form. Hawks are good. Gunston, I mean, speak about Gunston.
Yep.
Gunston was finished at Brisbane. The version of him at Hawthorn to Brisbane's quite incredible. But I
Well, he
think
was hired there as a on-field assistant coach, basically, wasn't he? Just as a backup forward and just look after the young blokes.
it's been an incredible year. He's
He
kicked
might be
60
All-Australian.
goals. Well, nearly has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's stiff to miss out.
He's most goal return ever in his career,
He can't miss.
which is staggering. But they're my 4 or 5 that can win. I think the Dogs can still win it, but defensively they can get opened up.
Okay.
Cats just sneaking along.
Yeah.
We're sleeping on the Cats, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
Well, they haven't played anyone over the last 5
Yeah.
weeks, so I think everyone discounts the wins by saying, "Oh, well, they only played that club or that club." But
They're healthy as well.
experienced, healthy, got some good young guys. But well, that's another one. Shannon Neal suspended.
Yeah.
Swanee, come on, shake this joint up. Really?
It happens. It's the same as senior coaches. When you get in the senior coach box, you turn in a bit loopy. Like they go a bit crazy. It's the same at AFL House. You get in there and then you just become one of them. Like you can't think for yourself. It's toe the line, and unfortunately, he's he hasn't come in, and we've got to give him a bit of time. But he toes the AFL line a lot, Greg.
Yeah. No, it'll be
You
interesting.
were going to say something there, but
He can't. He's got to. And on that, the umpiring, before we go, horrendous on the weekend.
the Philthorpe thing over the boundary was incredible to me. I don't think I've
That was a free kick 10
every day of
years
the
ago.
week. Yep.
The only game, well, it happened again on Sunday
Yeah,
as well,
it
and
did.
it didn't get paid. So you've got 4 umpires out there, but the only game I seen live was Giants and Gold Coast. That was horrific umpiring. There was 29 free kicks played in the first half. Talk about over officiating. They have to look at it and go back to 3. I think they certainly need to make them full time. And stupidly, they're bringing in more rule changes. So it looks like last touch is definitely coming in next year. Why do we have this obsession with changing rules?
Don't like it.
And then the umpires, they're always playing catch-up. So it's not the umpire's fault. It's the AFL and continuing laws of the game, change. They're always playing catch-up, and then you've got a rule of the week, and it's rubbish at the moment.
Yeah.
But they've got to make the one change, and that's grow the umpiring pool by sacking the bounce.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that is
that's a waste
such
of time.
that is such a skill, though, to be able to do that. And so often, it goes off and they call it back.
Yeah.
I reckon you've got to sack it. So our talent pool of umpires is a lot deeper. How can we just look at half marathon runners that can bounce the ball, then pick the best umpires out of that? That's ridiculous. Let's find people that can just make the best decisions.
How's they were telling players not to set up behind them this weekend as well, on occasion.
They've been trying to do that because I think they keep getting ran into. But
It happened again over the weekend.
Yeah.
They're getting cleaned up more and more. And that probably reinforces there's more congestion around the ball. So when there's a free kick, just chuck it straight up and
Chuck
get
it
out.
up.
They
Yeah,
need a
instead of
second
nominating the
umpire
refs.
behind the one chucking it up just to go
drag him out. We've got enough of them out there. We've got enough of them out there.
You
Yeah,
run
more umpires. I want more umpires.
Need 12
one for each player.
Yeah. Could you bounce a ball? You run half marathons, don't you, Rocky?
I could do. Yeah, I could.
We'll get a live
But don't
demonstration
bounce it,
next week.
throw it up.
Well, they need to throw it up anyway. But
You know-
I mean, you speak about it. Ruckman are going to be finished if they bring in last touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're speaking about it upstairs. What's the point of having a ruckman for a centre square bounce, which they don't jump anyway? They go and stand next to each other.
Then the Saints' plans will definitely change.
Yeah. Don't need TDK.
Yeah.
Well, Nas can just
Nash,
ruck as well.
yeah, ruck Rover.
There's nothing he can't do. Oh boy.
All right, boys, that might do us for this week. We'll be back to recap what should be a thrilling final weekend of footy. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Lynchy. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website